Alright guys, so really quick in this video, let's go over just basic cartilage piercings, okay? Cartilage piercings are a really common piercing. We do a lot of them, and with the cartilage piercing, you're looking at around 2 to 3 months to heal, okay? So 2 to 3 months, you don't touch them, you don't play with them, you leave them alone, just let them heal, and try to sleep on the other side, try to talk on the phone on the other side, just little things like that while they're healing. Now, I know asking someone not to sleep on that side for 2 months is asking a lot, but do your best. You are going to wake up sometimes where you're sleeping on top of it, but just switch sides, be conscious of it, and do the best you can, okay? Now, your initial jewelry for a cartilage piercing is usually going to be one of two things. You have captive bead rings and you have barbells, okay? Your captive bead rings, they're going to be usually 18 to 16 gauge. It's the most common for people to start with. But you can also do, if you want on the thicker side, a 14 gauge. And a 3/8 diameter is also a really common size to start with. So you have an 18 gauge 3/8, 16 gauge 3/8, or a 14 gauge 3/8 captive bead ring, okay? Now, if you didn't want to start with a ring, you just want like a plain stud or a gem or a plain ball, then you would do barbells, okay? These days, 18 gauge barbells are becoming really popular, but you can also do 16 gauge and 14 gauge. And with those barbells, you have the option of putting gems or whatever you want on the front, okay? Just depending on, what jewelry you pick up or what your local piercer has. The length of the barbell, that's going to be really important. You never want to start with anything shorter than a 5/16. So 5/16 is going to be your standard bar size to start with, or bar length. And the reason for that is you need room for swelling, okay? These guys like to swell quite a bit in the back. So give it that room. After around 2 months, you can downsize. You can put a lot more snug, tight bar in there if you want to, or even a smaller ring for that matter. And then also, after that 2 to 3 months, there's a world of options. I mean, there's all the fancier jewelry. There's a million different gem types and gem settings and multiple gems, and you have the rings with all the elaborate ornamental stuff on there. You can totally swap that out, but wait till it's good and healed, and 2 months is usually about the soonest for that, okay? The more elaborate stuff, it's amazing once you're healed, but it just has so many nooks and crannies for dirt and bacteria to heal that it makes it really hard to heal. I guess last thing, aftercare. Aftercare on a cartilage piercing is really the same as any other piercing. It's the same thing, saltwater soaks, okay? And just to kind of go over it again really fast, the saltwater soaks is, you're going to the grocery store, you get a gallon of distilled water, all right? Super cheap, super easy. It's like $1 in the drinking water section. You can find it anywhere. Then go to the salt section, get some non-iodized sea salts, okay? Non-iodized sea salts is basically just a pure sea salt. So you should always be able to read that ingredients list, and the only ingredient is sea salt, okay? Non-iodized is what you're looking for. So take both those items when you get home, 4 teaspoons of the salt to the 1 gallon of water, shake it up. That gives you like a big jug to kind of keep around the house. And once or twice a day, take like a coffee cup, fill it up with the salt water solution, microwave for a few seconds, like so barely, you just want it barely body temperature until you hit the side and dunk it in there. And just let it soak. And on average, I say about 7 to 15 minutes, okay? So definitely, sounds like an eternity, but it'll go by really quick. Just sit there, watch TV, do whatever you gotta do, but get through that 7 to 15 minutes, okay? Cool, and then, yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty simple, pretty easy. And there's one thing that I didn't go over, and that's gonna be a really common thing you see with cartilage piercings is blowouts or keloids on the back, or hypertrophic scar tissue, whatever you want to call it. Now, they're really common. You see them on a lot of girls, they get these big bumps on the back of the piercing. And what that's from is too much movement during the healing, okay? Too much movement meaning you're sleeping on it too much, you're bumping and knocking it too much, you're catching and snagging it. If that ever happens, there's little tricks to make them go away, which we'll kind of go over in another video farther down the line. But just know there are simple solutions to get rid of it, but you don't have to go down that road if you don't have to. So just know, if you're constantly bumping it, you're constantly snagging it, you're always sleeping on it, during that first 2 months, you might have to battle with some hypertrophic scarring in the back, okay? But like I said, nothing in the world, but we just don't have to do that if we don't have to, okay? So pretty simple, there it is, Cartilage 101. Yeah, that's it guys, cool.